Welcome into Mavericks Today. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein with you. We were going to put out a mailbag video, Coop, but there is some news. Welcome Alex Fudge to Dallas on a two-way deal.
Alex Fudge is a Dallas Maverick. The former Los Angeles Laker and Florida Gator lands in Dallas, and the Mavericks promoted A.J. Lawson to the active roster. So we'll get to the news in just a moment, but this is why you subscribe to Dallas Mavericks Today, because when news happens, we talk about it.
Doesn't matter if it's big news, small news, Fudge news, we cover it all. So hit that sub button as we're going to keep you locked in to the latest Mavericks news and rumors on almost a daily basis. All right, who is Alex Fudge? Well, a little bit of his background here. Went to Florida, undrafted last year, signed with the Lakers on a two-way, got released back in January, and is now with the Mavericks on a two-way, Coop. So kind of a classic UDFA here, Coop. He's probably destined to bounce around a little bit, hopefully get developed and stick on a team at some point in time. We'll see if the Mavericks are that team for him. I wouldn't expect him to, play a key role here for this team this year, but maybe he can get down in Frisco and develop a little bit.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that our good pal Fran Fraschilla would say is 2 years away from being 2 years away. Alex Fudge he's a really good athlete, but I'm not sure that he's a basketball player yet. Now, we take a look at his G League stats, 18 games with the South Bay Lakers, 8 points, 5 boards, block and a half per game, so you can see he has some defensive ability, but has no real ability to stretch the floor out. He's not a three-point shooter, and he doesn't provide much floor spacing at all from that standpoint. So if he is as an NBA player right now, he is strictly a defender.
Yeah, I mean, athletic profile, but not a great shooter, not a great ball handler. This is a guy, put him down in Frisco, see if he can, work on fine-tuning just some of the basic skills of being a professional basketball player. I mean, that's really what two-way deals are for. Find these raw athletes who you can try to turn into something. And, maybe he's got a chance to be that. Maybe he won't. Well, only time will tell. But as far as what he brings this team right now, the question posed below, I don't think much, at least for this year's team.
He's not going to make an impact on this roster this season. Now, maybe in the future he could turn into someone that can play a few minutes for this team. But right now, I think the Mavs are just trying to fill that third two-way spot, and they found it in Alex Fudge for at least the rest of the season.
Yeah, we'll talk about A.J. Lawson, a guy who could factor into what this team is doing here this year. Grade the signing of Alex Fudge, A, B, C, D, or F. D for don't really care. I mean,
he's not a guy that's going to wow you or anything like that. So I think, it's a C, it's a D, it's whatever average grade you want to give it. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's a two-way deal at the end of the day. It's not going to be an F. It's not going to be an A. It's not much risk involved whatsoever. All right, so A.J. Lawson does get elevated. So, no buyout target scenario where they go get someone as the 15th roster spot. It's going to be A.J. Lawson. Kind of felt like this is where it was heading after they missed out on Spencer Dinwiddie, which, by the way, he has not been good for the Lakers.
Did the Mavs dodge a bullet?
It's hard to say. But, yeah, Lawson comes here. He's given this team some decent minutes this year. Now there's no, game restrictions since he's not on a two-way deal. And, look, we're going to talk about Tim Hardaway in a minute, but if Tim continues to struggle, maybe Lawson's a guy that gets some minutes here, Coop.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think Jason Kidd needs to explore all options when it comes to the Tim Hardaway thing. So we'll talk about that here in just a moment. But first, Harrison, tell them about today's beautiful sponsor.
Yeah, beautiful, delicious sponsor. Factor Meals, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. You got delicious servings and options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks as well. What's also about Factor is, look, we're all busy in our lives. The last thing I want to do after I work for 10 hours is go to the grocery store and prepare a long meal and cook and then clean up afterwards. Sure, every once in a while it's fun to do that, but consistently throughout the week, no. I just want to get home and eat a nice, healthy meal and in timely fashion. That can happen with Factor because they're chef-prepared meals delivered straight to your doorstep that only take you on your end 2 minutes to get ready because they've already been cooked and prepared. You throw them in the microwave, 2 minutes, boom, you are good to go. They've got protein plus options, calorie conscious options, whatever you're looking for from a just flavor standpoint, but also dietitian standpoint, they've got you covered. Also, if you don't have access to a microwave, salad toppers, protein shakes, there are other meal options available with Factors. You can get anywhere from 4 to 18 meals per week delivered to your doorstep. So go check out Factor today, factormeals.com/MavsChat50. That code MavsChat50 gets you 50% off. Check out Factor Meals today. They are going to have you covered. Okay, Coop, let's talk about kind of the trend of this team. I go to the NFL Combine, and all of a sudden, this team's on falling off the rails
hell breaks
a little
loose.
bit. And look, I said it at the time. I texted you after that Max Strus fluke, and I was like, this one's brutal, man, because tough stretch of opponents there, and it's just one of those games that you really would have liked to have a good win against the Cavs on the road. You don't get it, and now you've lost 4 out of 5 after winning 7 straight. So kind of the topsy-turvy season continues for Dallas.
Yeah, full game back of that top 6 seed, and I think they're just a half game ahead of the 9 and 10 seeds there in the Western Conference. So it's all really jumbled up right now. There's been a lot of criticism thrown at Jason Kidd, and most of the time I'm a Jason Kidd defender, but I do think some of this is justified. I think over the stretch, he's made poor in-game adjustments, and that hasn't helped the Mavericks. And I think he's been a little too stubborn with his rotations, and I think he needs to change something in order to get this team going in the right direction.
Yeah, look, I think we should mention Tim Hardaway first here. There's another player I want to bring into this discussion as well, actually based on a tweet you had. But the Mavs are at a crossroads with Tim Hardaway. He, for a good chunk of this season was probably the 3rd best player on this team.
No doubt.
But for about a month and a half now, the guy's just been bad. I mean,
it's the worst stretch he's played in Mavericks uniform.
0 for 8 again last night from 3.
1 for 8.
6, whatever. 1 for 8 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3, whatever it was. I mean, he's shooting the ball terribly. He doesn't give you a ton defensively. Like, he doesn't look comfortable. I mean, I almost wonder if you just do one of those fake injuries where you just, like, sit him for 2 weeks.
It might help, man.
It's just one of those things where, like, he's struggling. He knows he's struggling. Everyone knows he's struggling, but they keep playing him, and you're just like, you can't just – I don't think you can just take him out of your rotation permanently, but you can't just keep the status quo either. I mean, it's a tough spot for Jason Kidd if I am going to defend him just a little bit.
His minutes have been reduced. I mean, he was playing about 30 minutes per night. The other night against Philadelphia when the Mavericks lost, he ended up playing just 15 minutes. So he has gotten reduced a little bit, but it's been his worst stretch in a Mavericks uniform, man. And Jason Kidd even said after the game, like, yes, we obviously know he's struggling. We have to put him in position to succeed and get him some open shots, and hopefully they start falling. So it doesn't seem like Kidd's going to completely go away from Tim Hardaway, which maybe he should for a couple of weeks, like you said, and give him a fake injury and see what happens. But it just hasn't been good, and he's been part of the reason the Mavs are on this skid right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we hoped that the All-Star break he could reset because he was struggling before the break, and it's continued, if not gotten worse since then. So that's unfortunate. I don't feel like his shot quality, like in terms of looks, has gotten worse. Like he's just not making shots.
Yeah, they're just not going in.
So,
exactly.
And if he's not making shots, he's kind of a detriment out there. So it'll be interesting to see, in the coming games if his role changes even more. Does he, maybe get a game off here? I think that could help. We'll have to wait and see.
I would like to see Jaden Hardy in the rotation. He hasn't been in there the last couple of games. I think he provides a different kind of dynamic that Hardaway doesn't as far as his defense and his ball handling goes.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Daniel Gafford, Coop, because I thought you had a great tweet where I think it was the Celtics game?
Yeah, after the Celtics game.
He played 6 or 7 minutes in that game, and you basically tweeted, why trade for Gafford if you're going to play him 6 minutes a game?
And I understand that matchup wasn't conducive to his skill set, like the Celtics play 5 out and whatnot, but my whole point is, why don't you create the mismatch? You create the mismatch where they can't guard Daniel Gafford.
Don't let the other team dictate what you want to do.
And exactly.
Call me crazy, give Gafford a start.
Sure.
You could bring Lively off the bench one night. I'm sure he'll be just fine. But this crap where he's playing 12 minutes and he's 0 for 2 from the field, it's just this guy was having 15-15 games before Lively comes back. And now he's just a non-factor? I don't get it.
You don't trade a first-round pick for him to just play against the likes of Denver and Minnesota, who are really big. You have to play him, and you have to make the most of it and have him be as effective as possible.
And I think the bigger problem, it's not really Lively starting and playing minutes. He's been good. It's that Kidd has fallen back into this Maxi Kleber trap where he was playing great before the All-Star break and did okay the first few games after. And again, I'm not saying take him out of the rotation, but to me, he should be after Lively and Gafford.
Maxi can't be your closing center.
No,
he just can't.
No, he's got to be a 12 to 15 minute a game guy, not a 20 to 25 minute. Like they've got him and Gafford backwards. Is basically what I'm trying to say, and they got to figure that out. What did you want to say about P.J. Washington?
Just needs to start making some shots, man. Now he did the other night where he was pretty good, but he fell back into the trap against Philadelphia where he got cold once again. He just can't make the shot from three consistently, and I really think that the Mavericks need to find a way to get him going on the offensive end because he does provide the defense that the Mavericks need. And if you can get him going on both ends, that's a huge piece to this puzzle, and hopefully he can figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a 5-game stretch. It's not the end of the world. You had Cleveland beat, so, like, it's not like you're just falling apart here, but you can't let this turn into 7 out of 8, 8 out of 9 because, again, the West is just so jam-packed. I mean, that win over Phoenix to kind of get a leg up feels like a month ago now.
Yeah, exactly. That was right out of the All-Star break, and you felt that the Mavericks were trending in the right direction. That was their 7th win in a row. And since then, it's been 4 or 5, and it's been a struggle, man. It has.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What's your concern level with the Mavericks right now? Scale of 1 to 10. I mean, I'll go 5. I mean, I'm not hitting the panic button. I still think this team has proper ingredients, but you gotta get this going quick. I mean, every game counts in the West right now. You'd really like to get into that top 6. Is it the end of the world if you're the 7 or 8? Not the end of the world, but you would prefer to avoid that at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm at like a 7. I'm a little bit more concerned than you. This team just has so many alarming trends that I'm not sure where they get out of it.
They don't maintain momentum.
Exactly.
That's the one thing that's concerning. I know 7 in a row is a good streak, but like to go 7 in a row, then lose 4 out of 5 and some ugly losses in there, that is a concern.
Just can't have it, yeah, for sure. And they'll have a chance to right the ship here upcoming this week. Tomorrow against Rick Carlisle and the Indiana Pacers, and then Thursday a big one against the Miami Heat. Then you have Detroit, which is a must-win. You have to beat Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, you really need to at least split those 2 home ones at least against the East, tough East teams. And then you got to go 1 in Detroit. I mean, 2-1 here I think would help. 3-0 would be awesome. I mean, if you could beat Indiana and Miami at home, I think we'd all feel a lot better.
Absolutely.
About things. But they got to go out and do it. They owe Indiana 1 after getting spanked.
And Luka rolled his ankle again on Sunday, but he'll be fine. He's going to play Tuesday, so no concerns there. He's just been playing banged up. And by the way, he didn't play great, and he still had a triple-double against Philadelphia. So that's just what he does.
Yeah, gotta get him and Kyrie some help in these next few games, no doubt about it. And by the way, quick advice: guard Miles Turner this time because
I like that idea.
That did not go well the last time out. All right, he's Coop. I'm Harrison. We'll see you guys soon. Hit that subscribe button.